The final segment of this episode of March Comes In Like a Lion was truly incredible. What the teacher did to the bully, or what he said to her, was so real, so powerful. And even though at the end of the day what he said might not completely be true, you could at the very least see from what he said definitely affected the girl that caused so much harm to Chiho and Hina. And when he said that, the thing is, you are scared. You have, a problem. You do not want to get disappointed. You don't want to be disappointed. And because of that, you won't actually taste failure or success. You just want to be someone that's like, what's the point in trying? What's the point in going forward and, going for something if, I'm just probably gonna fail? Like, what's the point in it? And his, logic of saying, the reason why you put effort into things, why you go out of your way to do certain things or study, is to be a better human being, is to also have a better life. I mean, think about how we are as humans, okay? When we go out of our way to study, get a job, get in a relationship, usually it's to benefit ourselves. We're wanting to have a better life. And along our journey throughout life, we hit many, potholes. We fall down and we hit the ground, we're bleeding out, but sometimes we can get back up. Sometimes we don't get back up. But regardless, that is the path of all of us. We all go through these ups and downs. And what the teacher is trying to say, right now, you're young. You're very young in your life. You have a lot to see and explore. Right now, you're at your point in your life to where you don't want to take risk. You're like, what's the point in all of that? Because of all this. And he's like, you need to understand your own capacity, your own limits. If you don't branch out, if you don't experiment, if you don't realize what you can and can't do, then you're never going to progress as a person or be a good person. If you can't even understand yourself, then you cannot understand others. And when he stated that, when he was like, the reason why you act like you do, the reason why you lash out and you hurt others, is because of your own problems you have within yourself going on. And even though he straight up roasted her in that moment, he was very truthful. And I think his words were very kind words. It was harsh, but it was kind words that needed to be said. And the reason why I think the teacher just downright stated that at the end of the episode was because of a big reason. Two reasons, actually. Number one, the teacher that's taking place or taking over the classroom, the newbie, it's very clear that what he's going to do to her is probably going to ruin her life permanently. And with the old sensei leaving, he knows for a fact there most likely is never going to be more meetings. What I mean is that, as we know, he's been constantly having meetings with the bully, talking with her and all of that, trying to get her to comprehend what she has done, understand what she has done to others. And she still obviously hasn't understood that. And he's been trying to make her realize this. Let her find the answer instead of him giving her the answer. Even though he didn't have a proper answer, like he couldn't say it, he gave his own point of view on it. Because at the end of the day, he kind of gave an answer, even though he said he didn't have one at the end of the convo. And the reason why he did that wasn't because he wanted to help her out and just get her through this as quickly as possible. He said that because he realized once he's gone, once he is no longer her homeroom teacher to watch over her, most likely she's never going to have another meeting again. The newbie teacher, since he's very new, he's not going to know how to really handle her, obviously. And he's obviously someone that's probably not going to continue doing the meetings with her because he fears the mother and all of that. So he just doesn't want to deal with that, stress, that problem. So because of this, this was the last meeting that she would ever have on this entire situation with bullying. And so the reason why the old sensei went out of his way to roast her like he did and just mind warp her was because he needed her to understand what she is feeling and comprehend it. He wanted to take the slow route. He wanted her to be able to understand with her own in her own time and comprehend it, but he couldn't wait that long because of how the sensei is, the new one. She's not going to get that chance because he's already ready to write her off right on her record and say she's a problem child, she's a bully and all that, aggressive, mean, she doesn't listen. And this type of stuff on your record, it can ruin you. I know for a fact in Japan that's a big thing. It could definitely ruin your job opportunities or your future. And so if that is wrote on her permanent record, that destroys her. And yes, she's a bully. In a lot of ways, she kind of does deserve it. I mean, you reap what you sow. That's pretty much the old saying. But at the same time, though, she is a kid. And yes, what she did was horrible, but she obviously couldn't comprehend certain things she did. And that's what the old sensei was trying to state. He understands that what she did was heinous, but she still couldn't comprehend how horrible it really was. And he was trying to teach her that. And now with the new teacher coming in, she's going to get punished permanently for the rest of her life when she's even in adulthood, but because of one thing. And it'll be much worse than what happened to Chiho. I mean, Chiho's life kind of got ruined too, but she's making gradual steps to help herself and better herself. But then with this one little thing, she's going to get destroyed for the rest of her life. Decades. So that's kind of the big point here. And why the teacher went out of his way to say what he said was because he knew that if he didn't, she would have no future. But let's talk about the Chiho stuff. So Chiho, it was wholesome. It was a very wholesome segment, especially the food segment too at the beginning of the episode. But seeing Chiho slowly going through recovery, it's wholesome because you could see that even with horrible things that's happened to her, you could still kind of overcome them. She hasn't completely overcome those issues she's had. I mean, you can see when she, just stares blankly off into the distance and all that when Hina is there, it shows that she still has trauma after what happened to her in her old school. But even then, though, she is making progress. She is making steps to be able to go back to school, be able to progress her life and all that. And it's nice to see that. I'm really glad to see Chiho progressing. But it also shows the everlasting effects of what trauma can really do to someone, especially bullying. It's a serious thing. I know many like to say bullying isn't that big of a deal. I've seen it so many times in life. I know people like to make fun of internet bullies, to real-life bullies. I know people say it's not a problem, it's not that bad. But just sometimes people just can't handle stuff like that. That's just how it is. And just seeing Chiho having that issue of that trauma, not being able to, completely move past it yet, it's very real. And I feel like March Comes In Like a Lion is one of those type of series that just truly handle these type of themes accurately without really just trying to over-exaggerate it. Because everything that happened in this episode is exactly how some things in real life would work. I mean, with the whole stuff with the bully and all that, not really comprehending or understanding things. And sometimes, monsters will always be monsters. Most likely she might not ever change as a person. She might continue to be like she is and never change, and that's just how it is. That's how life is. Some people just do not change. They don't want to change themselves. They don't want to understand themselves. And so I feel like just the way March Comes In Like a Lion handles certain themes, it's just the best I've ever seen, and just the way it handles what's in this story. So, talking about the beginning of the episode, we have a food segment, and I felt like this just turned into a straight-up cooking show. Like, as soon as I saw them cooking, putting food together and all that, I'm like, is this Food Wars? Like, am I watching a cooking show right now? Like, am I? Because that's what it looked like to me. When I was watching this, I'm like, this is a lot of cooking, a lot of food. It's cute, though. I've been missing the sisters so much, because, they're just so adorable. They put a smile on my face. And, it's one of those type of scenes that can just get you to smile, because a while back in season 1, there was just a lot of depressing scenes. And with the sisters, they were always that, like, shining bright light in the show, and it made everybody able to smile. And so seeing them in this episode, when it's been quite a while, actually, since we saw them, I'm very happy to have them back. And I'm glad we got to see how their family has progressed. And it had a big meaning with the first part of this episode. Like, there was a lot of meaning with what's going on with their family. As we know, Akari and, Hina, Momo, and all of them, their mother is gone. We know this. Their mother is no longer in this world, and it's a tragedy. It's sad. But even then, people still need to continue moving forward. Life doesn't just stop. And it's a very sweet scene when you see how they are carrying on the mantle of their parents or their grandparents. And I just couldn't help but smile in that moment when Hina's, kind of carrying on the legacy. Akari is, carrying on the legacy. I'm just like, this is truly one of those type of things that, happens in real life as well. We feel sad when we lose people, and that's just a given. But at the same time, some people just carry on that legacy. With each generation, you carry on the legacy of your predecessor, and that's what they're doing. You can see Hina, how she is passionate about what she does, and she wants to continue to carry on the legacy for her family and the sweet shop, and I just thought that was cool. And also seeing Ray as well, and his little addition to the cast, like the family, shows that he's truly a part of them, and he is like a family member now. He is legit a family member. I mean, they're inviting Ray into their stall to like wash dishes, get stuff for them. It just shows that they really do think highly of Ray to even allow him to do something like that, because that's actual business they're doing. It's a very big business. They're making some good money from it. So for them to allow Ray into the shop to do stuff like that, it just shows that they deeply do care about him. They think a lot about him, and Ray does really have a good family at this moment, so I'm just proud to see that. Now, one last thing to talk about before I end this video. I do want to point out that there was obviously some parallels, like a big theme with Hina and the bully in this episode. We see how Hina, she's someone driven by passion. She has this passion to be a part of the sweet shop, make sweets. She even, passes out writing down new sweets and stuff that are delicious. That's kind of where the episode ends off of. And this is completely opposite to what's going on with the bully, and how she doesn't have passion. She has no drive to do anything or find out what she can do or what she can fail at. And I feel like that's what the parallels of this episode was. What it was trying to show is that Hina and the bully are just very different. One has their future ready, what they want to do, while one is not even looking forward to the future, not even looking forward to the next day. So I like that. I like the theme of this episode for that. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And I love you guys. Please be safe. Chibi out.